Hey there, I'm back reading some Negation, and this is issue 17, and good stuff. This one is written by Tony Bedard. We got a guest penciler, Luke Ross, and Drew Garacci on inks, Dean White on colors. And Luke Ross did a nice job on this. I think he drew a lot of issues of Way of the Rat, if memory serves, for Crossgen. But in this issue, we get the backstory and the guy they just rescued, Gamid. Kane isn't even in this one. He gives his backstory, which I think had a lot to do with the Crossgen Series Crux, because he was an Atlantean from our Earth, and they developed long before humans, and then went off on this great migration out of here while humans grew up, and lottie. But and he tells his backstory of he and the Australians moving over to negation space and getting this power, and the power destroying them. And there's one of the lawbringers kicking his ass in the past. So this story was all about how they get there. Nice, like I said, Luke Ross did a nice job. I don't remember him drawing anything. I think this is the first issue of Negation he drew as a guest penciler. I don't remember him being on the book, but I really liked the art in this one. I still like Paula Pelletier's stuff better, but this was good stuff. Okay, I just finished with issue number 18 of Negation. Paul Pelletier is back for this one. We got Tony Bedard, Paul Pelletier, David Mikas, and James Rochelle all working on it. And this issue was kind of cool. It was sort of a noir issue, a heist. Kane is only in this. Kane is kind of the lead of this whole series, but he's only in. But they have to rescue him. He's only in this, like, to tell them where he is, and they have to, and please come rescue him. Meanwhile, they have to figure out what to do, because the spaceship they have, isn't fast enough to come get them. It'll take them 3 days, so they're looking for some module for the spaceship that'll make it faster. And we start with one of the characters. He's the pilot, captured by these gangsters. Then, of course, we go back into the story, and he's kind of a sleazy guy to begin with, this pilot character. We go back into the story of how he got there. And this is is kind of a noir story, all about him and this, where is she? She's a warrior, a Saurian warrior. So she's like this lizard woman. She's like I think a scout. So she's the muscle of the group. And they go, and the whole thing is this noir story about them going down to the planet and having to meet with sort of the seedy underworld people of the planet. There's some Negation soldiers chasing them. The seedy underworld of the planet, and get this special module for their ship so they can go rescue Kane. There's a nice shot of her. All bloody. But fun issue. Action, noir, betrayals, stories, cons. Good stuff. Okay, here we go with Negation issue number 19. Nice cover. Our normal team, Tony Bedard, Paul Pelletier, David Mikas, and James Rochelle are on this one. And this was a good this was a good issue. Once again, they're planning on the rescue of Kane from this planet he's hiding out on. But in this issue, we find out a little bit more about what's going on the planet that's linked to the stuff that happened before, which is this guy right here, the old warden, has him captain. We find out it's all a trap. Then we get treated, because last issue in their noir issue, one of the things they picked up was this thing that makes food and clothes. We get treated to a little fashion show for a couple of pages, showing off all their new costumes. But then a key moment comes when the Gamid, the Australian guy from the old world, and also this big-time general is on the planet with Kane holding him captive. We find out that, this guy right here, Gamid, can help restore their powers. And they're kind of They're kind of reluctant to give Evan Leah her power back. She's one of the first who are the most powerful people in the Crossgen universe, and she's a bit of a weirdo snob maniac. And also the warden's brother, since it's his home planet, tries to help out Kane. So there's all sorts of stuff going on. There's all sorts of stuff going on like that. And then we get the big rescue attempt starts. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler here because it was so much fun. And, you know, the book is 18 years old. Let's see, when did this come out? July 2003. So the book is 19 years old almost. But the big reveal at the end is Evan Leah is about to kick ass with her newfound restored powers. We'll see if she's actually able to kick ass, because those the general in this book is pretty darn powerful himself, and he's I don't know how much of a military fighter she really is. I think the first are used to having more raw power than anyone around them, so I don't know how good they are at fighting. But issue 19 of the Negation, we'll see what's next. Issue 20 of Negation. Bedard, Pelletier, Makis, and Rochelle, same as last issue. And in this issue, instead of the big fight with Evan Leah, there she is, fully restored to her power. She uses her brains and teleports the two dudes she was trying to rescue out of there, trying to make it look like they were disintegrated, but she didn't fool anyone. But she escapes. And then we get, where is he? There's the general. He's one of the super powerful guys in the Negation, the general. And this is the warden trying to get his military rank back. And he's forced to kill his own mother and brother, who were traitors, in order to get his military rank back. So there's a little sad part of the story. But then the rest of it is Kane is upset. He tried to save the warden's little brother, but he wasn't able to. And the warden's little brother told him about the leader of the resistance to Kane. Told Kane about the leader of the resistance to Charon and the Negation. So now Kane wants to try and go and rescue the leader of the resistance. But the rest of them are like, are you sure this isn't a trap? And he's like, this is the only intel we got. We gotta try and do it. And sure enough, it's a trap. So the rest of the book is them trying to do the jailbreak. And then it ends with them finding out it's a trap, just like the rest of them feared. But some beautiful artwork and a really fun story. Like, this is a very fast-paced, fast-reading series, so it's a lot of fun. There's their magic user. He's on the cover. He's managed to get his own powers working by himself through meditation and concentration, as he says. But just another good, and he helps with the jailbreak too. He's the one who's his Crossgen sigil allows him to complete any mission as long as he has the mission parameters. So it's like the one of the interesting things about him is, like, the magic user, this big strong guy, wasn't strong enough to break down the jail door, but as long this guy's sigil allows him, it doesn't matter how strong the door is, he can break down the door because his sigil allows him to complete any mission. So that I always found that a little bit of an interesting power in here. So on to the next issue. Okay, here we go with issue 21 of Negation. Our usual team: Tony Bedard, Poor Pelletier, Dave Makis, and a new colorist, Laura Martin. And in this, we continue our jailbreak story. And it's also, we get a lot about Matua, their magic user. We get a lot of his backstory in this one. As he's fighting the Lawbringer, he's slipping through time. So this is him back on his home planet with his wife and kids, who have died, we find out. There he is fighting the Lawbringer. And eventually, there's more of his backstory with his teacher. And eventually, Evan Leah shows up, but even she can't take down this lawbringer. So, and he flashes back to the prison planet where he first met Kane. So it's a lot of good stuff. It's a lot of emotional stuff in this one. You know, kind of a fight going on as he's getting these flashbacks, trying to figure out what's happening in these flashbacks, trying to use his magic. Good stuff. It ends on a real emotional note. And then we find out with a shock who the leader of the rebellion is. And it kind of explains a little bit why, I was wondering why Charon would keep any leader of the rebellion alive anyway. But it turns out there seems to be a little bit of the reason, because Charon seems to kill everyone. Whoever he feels like killing, he kills. But he also keeps people alive. So I guess he's so powerful, he doesn't really care if someone's alive or dead, unless for a moment he wants to kill them. But another good issue, jailbreak stuff. Here is issue 22 of Negation. Tony Bedard, Dave Ross, Tom Simmons, John Rauch, and Eric Aguero. So we get a Dave Ross issue here. And it's pretty good. The art's nice. It's really sort of a pause issue because they just rescued the leader of the rebellion from a Negation prison last issue, and now they're trying to figure out what to do. And the cover with Kane having blood on his hands is pretty appropriate because a lot of the people who've been following him up at this point are a little tired of his leadership and kind of want Gamid, the powerful Australian, to lead them. And we also get the return of Javi in this issue, who was in the miniseries. What the heck was the name of that miniseries? Mark of Charon. He was the guy who was with them at the beginning, who then died, but his powers healed them, and Charon came and plucked him up and made him the leader of this group of sigil bearers that Charon, the bad guy, made. And that was the Mark of Charon miniseries, which is earlier in this series. So this issue was very much about, since a lawbringer died last issue, now Charon wants to, all the other lawbringers want revenge, but Charon is sending Javi and his sigil bearers to kill them. And we get a little bit more of Evan Leah trying to betray them, and a wrap up on the prison planet, and fun stuff like that. So it's kind of a pause issue. Well, there's Javi and the sigil bearers from Charon. So it's a bit of a pause this issue as we get caught up on the plot and the character development. Good stuff.